grew up just down the road in Greenwich. Her interest in music started at 8 when she was exposed to classical music, and at 11 she joined a choir, and at 15 she formed a group with her two friends and they called it Dynamite, performing covers of lovers rock songs and originally Pen songs as well. But in 1992 she took a break from music to concentrate on family. But in 2014, having the encouragement of family and friends, she made a big change in her life and decided to rekindle her relationship with music, which is why she's here today. Welcome, Sahrya. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, what happened in 2014? What was that change you made?
A lot of things happened in 2014. I was actually living in Barbados at the time. Had been there for many years. But I guess if I'm going to summarise, 2014, music became kind of like my healing. It was kind of like a sanctuary for me. There was a lot going on, had been for a few years. And so I just kind of embraced my music and all the kind of other craziness that was happening. All good, there was lots of good things as well, but there was testing, challenging stuff, to say the least.
It was healing for you. Music was healing.
It was definitely my healing.
So you were in Barbados, and that's when you thought, okay, I need to get back into doing something that's what, for me? That's just for me?
Yeah, I mean, you know, two boys, they're big now, 27 and now 17, but at the time the 17-year-old was obviously a lot younger, and I just really needed not being around my close family and friends because they're all in the UK. I mean, obviously I have my really good friends in Barbados, not undermining those at all. I have certain family out there, but you know, I really did need something just to sort of just get my head around. Because we're in Barbados, it's, you know, sun, sea and sun, and it's beautiful, but you're a little bit in a cocoon somewhat. And
the paradise can only last for so long.
Absolutely. Yeah, so as I said before, it was just something for me to embrace. It was something for me, something that I love. It's art, it's the kind of art I do. I'm not a portrait artist.
No, you're a musical artist.
Absolutely.
So you came back to Britain, you came back to the UK, or were you dabbling in it in Barbados and then you came back? How did that work?
Well, I'd always been writing kind of on the side to myself and stuff, but not really doing much with it. As I said, music's kind of like a healing for me, as is poetry and stuff. And then through a friend at the time, who is an actually established artist, she sort of, to help with my healing, I suppose, she sort of said, you know, come down to the studio and just jam and stuff. I did that, and then the following week I went back, but this week I went back and said, you know, I actually wrote a song last week. And you know, and it just started from there really. It just sort of fell back into the studio. It wasn't really planned to.
But it was planned somewhere, let me tell you that right
There's
now.
always a divine plan.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So 2015, you got into the studio. Talk to me about Looking for Diamonds.
Yeah, that's my baby.
That's your first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's my debut, and that's my baby, and it will always be.
Tell me about the journey towards that.
Well, as I said, it was a testing time. That song's kind of like, I'm a bit like that anyway, kind of wear my heart on my sleeve.
I can see your we're going to have to get a camera in here actually to start filming this, and we're going to have to go live over Facebook because my guests, sometimes when I say something and your face tells 1,000 stories. When I said that song, you were like, you lit up.
That's my baby.
So go on, carry on.
So, okay, where was I? Yeah, so just sort of fell back into studio with Diamonds, but that song kind of came out of what maybe I was feeling at the time, or had been feeling, you know, had gone through. I'm a bit like that. I'm quite, as you say, I'm quite expressive. And you know, I literally wrote that song in a couple of hours. When we went back in the studio, I had input from those around me in terms of helping to sort of structure it, you know. The composition was done by a really talented guy called Corey Jordan. They're from in Barbados. He's a sound engineer. It was done in a friend of mine's studio with Phil Batson. So they kind of jointly sort of did the composition, instrumental composition, And then a friend of mine at the time, Kofi, she really was quite instrumental in terms of the arrangement.
And then you released it 2015. What was that moment like for you? You know, when it's like, okay, I've struggled. It's very cathartic as well, experience writing it, then getting into the studio and recording it. That must have been quite emotional as well. But when it was like, okay, we're going to release this thing now.
I know, it was like, what? I'm going to the studio to jam, and then now we've got like a whole tune, and they're talking about distribution and licenses and
like, Lord
PRS and all this stuff, and it's like, as you said, oh God, you know. But I just, as you say, there's a divine order for everything, and my family are all musicians and artists and very quite spiritual people. I would say religious, I would say spiritual people. And you know, I'm always told, you know, you do what's your purpose, and I guess this is my purpose. You leave it, you come back, you leave it, you come back, and you still end up coming back home, so to speak. So I'm doing it right now because it's what I love.
It's your anchor.
It is really, and I'm just hoping for the best, really. I mean, you know, I'm probably not going to be the biggest superstar ever.
Don't say that. Okay, stop. Because what we say, words are powerful. I say this every week. Words are one of the one of the powerful things
I say that
we
to
have.
people all the time, and I do.
And you'll do it yourself. So
I
stop.
know, stop.
Okay. All right. Look, let me just remind you of some things. I want you to get your experience, talking about the experiences of this as well. Okay. So you were providing. So you came back into the industry after taking years out, and suddenly there you are providing backing vocals for Errol Kennedy's Imagination at the Indigo in 2017, and then you're on tour in Spain and the UK supporting backing vocals again. Otis Redding Jr. Yeah. These things don't just happen.
I know, divine order, darling.
What was it like when you got the phone call though from Errol? What was that like?
Well, you know, that phone call, I mean, I was obviously over the moon that he would think of me, but I know Errol because his daughter is actually my sister-in-law.
Okay.
So as I said, all my family are musicians, so he knew that I was getting back into stuff. He looked at some of my material and said, you know, come and join us, really.
Right.
So that was fantastic opportunity at the O2, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Were you obviously you were nervous, but what was driving you through that? What's your takeaway from that moment? What was your thing like, okay, you did it and you're like, right. What was it? What's your takeaway from that experience?
Well, you know, it's just a really great opportunity to be on that type of stage, and I'm quite humble when it comes. I'm not really a humble person.
No, but what did it teach you?
What did it teach me? It
Yeah.
taught me that you need to be prepared and ready at any moment, because you can get a call at any moment. It taught me that you need to know how to command a stage in your audience. It taught me that you need to understand what the sound engineers are doing, because if you think you understand but you don't really understand, when you start to perform, you'll know that you didn't understand and you'll be sorry.
Amen.
Yeah.
See, I did.
So there's lots of stuff that it taught me.
Okay. And did that set you up in the right direction with Otis Redding Jr.? You talked about that experience. How did that come about? Because you went to Spain.
Yeah, well, my brother is a vocalist. He's a producer. He does lots of stuff around music, and he does a lot of stuff around. He's very well known in Spain. His name's Mr. Mouth. Just a little plug there for me, brother.
It's all right, go on.
Not that you read music these days, but you know. Yeah, he was actually doing a show with Otis Redding Jr. So you know, he wanted me to come and do some BVs. So because he does a lot of Motown, R&B, soul stuff. So I said, of course.
you didn't even blink.
No, I was on the plane. Absolutely. Suitcase packed in 2 hours. Not really.
How long were you there for?
I just went to really do the gig, so I was only there like about 3 days maximum.
Takeaway from that experience was what?
Oh my God. Takeaway from that was that we had an awesome band. Otis Redding is junior, obviously. Is such a professional, and again, it's just about being prepared. Because when you're on those kind of sets, you know, you can't go there to prepare. You need to be ready to go, ready to roll. They change things. You need to be able to be flexible and adaptable. Even throw ideas in yourself.
These are all the things that we teach. We try to teach people. We know ourselves, and sometimes forget. I always say one of my mantras is preparation makes opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when the doorbell rings, if you're ready, you'll open it. you know.
Brilliantly.
I want to remind you of this before we listen to your new song. Some of the lyrics. For so many years, I've done everything for everyone else. I've dried all the tears and taught them about self-worth. I've picked up their pieces, lifted up their chins. Now my time has come. This is here.
This is where my life.
This is where my life begins.
Absolutely. I know. It's deep.
What was going on with you? Because is this just basically saying I've arrived now?
Okay, so let me just some clarification here. The song was penned by Leighton and Cook. Leighton basically was responsible for the lyrics, and Neil Cook was responsible for mainly the instrumental. When they sent me the song was bones really, but really had the essentials there, and I was heavily involved in the arrangement of that song, and it's become what it is today based on that. So I need to say I did not write the song, but I was heavily involved in the creation of the song.
Yeah, penned by Leighton Cook Music.
Correct.
I want to hear the song because let's hear the song and then let's have a chat, okay? It's an exclusive-ish for us here at Maritime Radio.
Yeah.
It's Sahrya, It's My Time.
I've done everything for everyone else. I've dried all the tears and taught them about self-worth. I've picked up their pieces, lifted up their chins. Now my time has come. This is where my life begins. A lifetime of longing, of holding back, always helping others with this and that. I've taught them how to smile again, how life is ruled by them. Slowly back away. This is my time now, the start of a brand new day. The start of a brand new day. So what am I looking for? So where do I begin? All the things I've ever wanted are about to come flooding in. It's my time now to have everything I deserve. It's my time now to conquer this big world. It's my time now. I'll get me new hobbies, put everyone else on hold, do the things I've always
So got that little rock feel to it.
Still got a little,
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love that second
I'll
word.
throw off like shackles to concentrate on me, 'cause I've got a new beat now, 'cause I am finally free. The start of a brand new day. The start of a brand new day. So what am I looking for? So where do I begin? All the things I've ever wanted are about to come flooding in. It's my time.
my time now, Sahrya. It's so uplifting.
Ah, great.
It is, and I was saying that it's got that little kick, that little lovers rock kind of.
In the second verse.
Yeah, it's dirty, as I used to say. We like it, dirty, lovely, lovely. So there it is, Sahrya. It's my time now. Look, I was talking earlier about the Eurovision Song Contest. I was like, you know, I could. I know you may not want to go do that, but I could see that song. It's really uplifting. It's uniting.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's my time now. You know,
I think there's something in there for everybody.
There is,
and that's what's good about the song. I'm loving it now.
So how can people get hold of it? How can people get hold of the song? I know they can download it. What's going to happen there?
You can download. It's on all the social media platforms. I don't know, Amazon, iTunes, everything.
And check out, of course, Coffee and Cream.
Coffee and Cream,
yes.
Who are like my biggest supporters, my mentors, my friends. Oh my God, I can't believe I haven't even mentioned them yet.
No, well, I was going to anyway, because obviously Chris was on last
absolutely.
week, and he talked about it's a partnership. I said, oh, you know, you're the managing agency. He's like, no. This is a partnership. This is about when spirits come together and they share something. It's just a natural thing to connect.
Exactly. This is basically what's happened tonight. I met Chris through a mutual friend in 2014 when I was in Barbados, and we just sort of built a relationship, a musical relationship since then. And as I said, he's like just got my back totally. He's taught me the business. People kind of, I've had situations where I've been approached to do things, and when we start talking business, because I always talk business first,
Good.
And when we start talking business, they haven't really heard anything from them afterwards, which is good.
Because they know you know your stuff.
Absolutely, but that's because of the kind of mentorship and advocacy that Coffee and Cream, the company, has done, and they've really and then obviously the support of my my brother is heavily involved in the business. People like Errol Kennedy, these people that have been in the business for years, and just sort of teaching me the ropes, and me just rolling with it really.
You're doing well. Well, you've got the right people around you, so that's what's important. You're working on an EP. Quickly, tell me about that. How's that going? When's that going to be due out?
Oh God. Well, I'm kind of trying to aim for the end of the year, because I'm still writing on that. I've got probably about 2 songs that are more or less finished on it. That is kind of going to be a 6-track EP. The crux of that EP is that I want it to kind of bring out all the different sides of Andrea. There's quite a lot of different sides to me.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the R&B. We're going to do. I listen to all sorts of music. So some of it can sound sort of alternatively, kind of commercially, maybe.
No, but if you're an eclectic mix and you like different music, that's going to be reflected.
We've mentioned lovers rock, but while I come from lovers rock background, this is where we all come from. If you want to add me to target,
yes, because I only asked you for my rice and peas and you didn't bring it, and the fried chicken and everything.
You should have told me I'm going to bring a container. But that's my background. But I don't sing lovers rock. Do you know what I mean? I tend to more go for the kind of soul, even soft rocky kind of stuff. I like doing fusion stuff. I think the EP will have sort of fusions with reggae, rock, but I'm a soul singer, so it'll always have the foundation being soul, being soul. Yeah, being soul.
Good. Sahrya, thank you for coming on today. I'm going to have to get you back, and maybe get you to do an a cappella or something, or just do a live in session. Let's get the right mics here. Would you do that? Yeah,
I'll do that for you.
And bring on the rice and peas and chicken, the container.
Spirit.
If you want to know more about Sahrya, just follow her. All you're going to do is follow her on socials at Sahrya Music. That's at Sahrya Music. It's on my Twitter feed and Maritime Radio now.
Spelled Sahrya.
It's my time. It has been your time. Thank you so much
for inviting me.
No, thank you for being with us. Okay, so it's 26 minutes past the hour 3. In about 4 minutes' time, we're going to be talking to our Gary.